Yeah, man, pow! Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, coming at you live to talk about episode 5 of season 2 of ClassicaLoid. And I have to say, I enjoyed this episode to a point, but it's the first episode, probably ever, of the show that I found myself just a little bit disappointed with by the end. And that largely has to do with, I was very much greatly anticipating the tipping of the hat you see in the OP of Schubert embracing the genre of reggae music. And reggae is one that I have found loosely, influential and that I've been loosely captivated by as an extension of one of my all-time favorite bands, the band Sublime, that existed in the late 80s, early 90s, before their lead singer, Bradley Nowell, would OD, and unfortunately the band petered out. Would go on to reinvent itself, and it now currently exists with a new lead singer guitarist known as Sublime with Rome, which I haven't followed nearly as closely. But one of the products of their sound, they were kind of a conglomeration of the punk genre, the rock genre, the hip hop genre, as well as reggae. They very much were influenced by and contained within their sound a reggae vibe, and that was very much born out of the lead singer Bradley Nowell's younger days, where he went on a family vacation to Jamaica or the Caribbean or wherever it was, and he was first exposed to it. So he married that sound with his own, that kind of thing. And so it was through that I would go on to evolve my being open to reggae and wanting to sort of be surrounded by it. And Bob Marley and the Wailers, I have a best of their content. It's kind of my go-to reggae thing, And what I really liked about the discussion of that genre of music is just how sort of passive it is, calming, relaxing it is. I challenge anyone to put in a best of Bob Marley and the Wailers CD and not find themselves relaxed and just feeling peaceful and calm and all that kind of stuff. I've even heard people listen to that music and they've fallen asleep. Just because of the relaxing, calming nature of it, the peaceful nature of it. And I think it was really kind of hilarious that it was a sort of revolutionary tack once again, which got the attention of Wa-kun because of his idea of revolution, whatever that actually means, we have yet to see. But the idea of a sort of peaceful revolution, where Schubert, we only see him in silhouette. He looks like a giant Godzilla type monster, roaming the lands, and he's carrying this musique of peace and equality, and it's having an effect over everybody and all that kind of stuff. I found that to be absolutely hilarious. We know it's him, though. I mean, they only show it in silhouette, but it's going to be him. And then the other leg drops when they finally reveal that it's him, and Beats has no idea who he is. You got Moat sitting over there like, he didn't remember who you were until just now. We didn't even know you were gone, buddy. Poor Shub. But where my disappointment came in was the fact that I was hoping this was going to be something that would, evolve over time, much as the hip hop had, in the first season, and even carried on through to the opening of this season. He was still very much consumed with hip hop as a means of finding his own sort of musical identity. And that's something that Schubert's really struggling with as a character, and that's something Wa-kun challenged him on, and that's what sent him soul searching and eventually gravitating toward the reggae. And so I had hoped that it would be something more than a one episode or one note joke. And by the end of this episode, he's back to normal. He's back to the typical ClassicaLoid. Now, that isn't to say he can't evolve back into the reggae, whatever like that, but I got the sense like there was a finality to it, and it's not something that is going to continue on for episodes the way the hip hop did, and that kind of was disappointing to me. I'd like to see more of Reggae Shub, that kind of thing, or The Great. And I love that the name The Great that he took as this, really heralded reggae musician hails back to one of, Schubert's own compositions, that kind of thing. I thought that was really cool, but it's just, like I said, by the end of it, it felt like there was a finality, a closure already. Just one episode, they only just reveal it, and then just as quickly by the end of it, it's like, no more talking about reggae. I want to see that continue on. I want that to be a part of his character the evolution of it throughout this season in his trying to find his own voice. And I think, I mean, that's what sort of, dials him back all over again by the end of this episode. He has the competitive nature of, Beats sort of going up against him with his own music as well. But Wa-kun again comes to the fore and is being dismantling of the idea that Schubert has his own signature voice musically, and that he doesn't have that confidence in his own artistic pursuits, and he needs to find that. He needs to find himself, in a sense. And that's very much the journey a lot of the ClassicaLoids were on in the first season that I spoke about at length many a time, where they were on an evolutionary tack. They had to find their own cohesion for them to be able to, call forth the music of their own accord rather than being subject to its own whims, the whims of the power. And they eventually found that, even though they're still all wacky and, completely crazy and absurd in the Manor House, running amok and everything like that. But I think Schubert is very much on that journey, and I'm hoping, I'm still holding hope that reggae will still come to the fore here and there throughout the season. But it just, as I say again, it felt like there was already a closure to that. It's only just introduced, and then by the end of the episode, he's sort of reformed. And that was just kind of disappointing to me. But otherwise, I enjoyed the episode, and I found it interesting, again, instilling that idea of revolution in Wa-kun, whatever that's going to mean, whatever that's going to amount to, I don't know. But he seems provoked by the end. Everything goes back to status quo by the end of the episode. And for everything that happened in it, Wa-kun as well as Dovo-chan, like they seem to be part and parcel, partners in this effect, whatever revolutionary tack they are on, whatever it is that is their end goal. It seems he's been prompted and provoked by the end thoroughly to pursue it now. And so I'm hoping we're going to find out a little bit more about that as we move on. It looks like the next episode is going to see Kanai's mother possibly coming back. That's going to be potentially interesting if it's the real mother, and if she actually has a familiarity with Wa-kun, maybe she'll give us some insights as to what that all amounts to. But I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 5 of season 2 of ClassicaLoid, if you've seen it as well. If you did enjoy it more than I did, if you agree with me, there was a sort of disappointing sentiment in their only encapsulating so far, seemingly, the reggae aspect of Schubert's nature to this one episode, or if you think they'll actually explore that further as we go on. Anything goes in the comments below as long as we have great conversation, and otherwise it'll be pretty much it for me on this. If this video finds you well, I'll catch you all later. Peace.